Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things. I am ready to video my third installment of Winter is Coming. The first two were new products, so I thought it would be fun to dig into an old product. And what I want to do for this week is I already have one done. I did it with Libby and Jane. We virtually craft once a month or so, but we have been crafting quite a bit lately. And we did a project. We found a pin, of which I don't have the pin, and that's a sad story. So a quick diversion. Pinterest, we have a private Pinterest board for our digital crafting. We contribute ideas to it, and then when we get together, we pick some criteria, usually pick one of the layouts that we like, and that was one of these. Somehow, the last time we were together, I don't know how I did it, I deleted the entire board. I didn't even know you could delete a board, but I was half distracted. I was on my phone, and I think I missed a message that said, "Are you sure you want to delete this?" And I meant, yes, I want to delete this pin, but it was the board. So a warning, if you do use Pinterest and care about your boards a lot like I do, don't delete them. I did put in a request, asked for them to restore it, and they did this very long, compassionate front of the email, and at the end it says, "So sorry, we're not going to restore it for you. We can't do that." So that's a lesson for everybody. So anyhow, I dug up that project that we did, because we did it a couple of times ago, and I thought with one color change I could make it from a fall card to a Christmas card. So that's what we're gonna do, using Rooted in Nature, and it is no die cuts. It is all stamping and embossing folders. So here's the one that I did. I even have here, and I haven't quite finished it, but this is what we worked on using the new cinnamon cider, crumb cake, and Merry Merlot. And the envelope is stamped on both sides. So the only color I have changed is the cinnamon cider is now shaded spruce. I didn't, when we made it, I hadn't decided what it was going to be, but I have decided a fall card for the Winter is Coming series would be perfect. So I did stamp up Season of Thanks from the Gather Together set. I'm going to find some snail. I am not going to pop this up. I do want to mail this, and the leaf layer is popped up, so I want to be careful. When I do my fancy projects, I'm going to be mixing them with projects that can be mailed, and a few of the projects I can make extra fancy and extra thick because I'll leave them here with my mom and I'll have her hand deliver some of them. So this one is going to be made into a to be mailed project, which is why I'm going to keep it fairly thin. I want to keep it down to the 1/4 inch. So the Season of Thanks I can have on either side. I think I'm going to go ahead and put it over here like so, and then I will get started. I've cut some of the pieces. I wanted to keep it as much the same as this as possible. So I've got my stamping sheet here, and I love my paper pumpkin blocks. You get one of these free when you buy paper pumpkin for the first one, and I went ahead and bought extras for classes, so I use them all the time. They take up very little space because they are less than half as thick as the fancy blocks. So for this type of thing, it works perfect. And I am going to, I guess I didn't get everything ready. Since we are using cling mount. I don't need a cushion. I have my colors. I'm gonna set this off to the side here so that you can still see it, because I will be trying to, oh, you know what I did miss? I will have to come back because this big wood block, I believe I need a bigger, oh no, it's gonna work, look at that. I tell you, these paper pumpkin blocks work for 90% of all of the stamps I use. All right, so I guess a tip would be in order here. If you're using the spots, notice when you use them you do get the block shape. So I usually start, this is a fairly dry crumb cake. I use it all the time, and I probably will see if I can get away with not inking it up. But I do swirl the ink so that I lose, and I try to change the angles. I don't need it to be super dark because it is just a background that's going to get buried underneath leaves and ribbon. So let's see how I do. I'm huffing on it a little bit. And that will work. I think that's just about the amount of color the fall one has. All right, now it is going to be, I have to decide, I believe I'm gonna do green for the little leaves. Or no, I'm gonna keep Merry Merlot, and I'm gonna do this one in the green. And a couple of the probably the smaller leaf, which all right, so I really liked the look of the rough edge, roughed up really close to the edge here for whatever reason. So this is like the thinnest sliver of edge that I could give it, and somewhere I have big scissors for really roughing this up the way I want it, where I'm curling it around the white, which is the goal. And using the bigger scissors just gets it done quicker. Alright, so I like it nice and rough, tattered, making a paper mess here. I inked up my embossing folder notice the horizontal lines and the vertical lines. I believe that was done intentionally, and I liked the look of the crisscrossing lines, so I made sure, in fact I almost did this one vertically because I like to do vertical treatments, and I made myself do the horizontal since this is the vertical treatment, and I really like it that way. This was a little smudge that in there, but because I knew I was going to cover it, it didn't bother me, so I just went with it. This will be the only piece I am popping up. Very often I don't actually do like assembly and stamping on the videos. I kind of do a walkthrough, but I figured some people would like to see how people stamp. Everybody does it a little different. Again, I always use my dimensionals cut in half. Even on this large of a size, I could have done the full, but this was the strip that I had sitting out, so either way works. Alright, so one thing I do have to do is adhere. The ribbon is colored with dark. There is no Merry Merlot, so I mixed. First I did dark cherry cobbler, and it did not come out dark enough, so after it dried I did dark Blackberry Bliss. Don't be afraid to mix your blends colors in layering to achieve your colors that you're after. As long as you let the ink dry, the way the alcohol markers work, you can't really damage your nibs. You can even do tip to tip color mixing, and so don't be afraid. I wouldn't do heavy. Remember, I tend to use a feather light touch with my markers, and if you're a heavy marker person, I would be more careful with the mixing of colors. But as I let the ink dry first, before I applied the Rich Razzleberry, it hasn't hurt anything. Alright, so I went ahead and pre-made a bow over here. And I have to remember I took all these off, so I'm going to go ahead and apply it. Offset. Then I need a dot. I then made I used the poinsettia Happy Holidays, and I already roughed it up. And I have not decided on the stone treatments, but I will put this in the same spot, and then I will decide on my embellishments. So I think that this is a very nice mail bowl, somewhat fancy, not too overly fancy card. I think it works great as a fall and like a Thanksgiving and a Happy Holidays card just by changing up the one color. And that is the end of the video. I will go ahead and do a showcase. I will go away and put some embellishments on this one before I take a picture. Tell me what you think. Leave some comments, suggestions. I look forward to next week for yet another installment of Winter is Coming Wednesday. Thanks for watching.